everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Agrarian Skies. Yeah, guys, welcome back. So, last episode at the very end, I was confused why this thing wasn't working. I thought it was broken. Well, as it turned out, as I saw as I was reviewing the footage afterwards, the back section here that's blue now, this was set to nothing. I'm not sure why that happened or how that happened. I must have hit it with a wrench or I don't know, done something. But anyway, that, as you saw here, the water was not going back in. And yeah, that was the reason why. So yeah, I don't know why I didn't realize that at the time of the recording, but yeah, those things happen. So we'll move on from there. But yeah, so I've been letting our stone collect for a while now. We got 21 stacks, and actually, I've used a whole bunch of stone since the last episode. So where did I use all that stone at? You can't really see anything, right? Well, if we come back into the house, and look right there, there's a trap door, and there's a ladder, and, oh, what's going on down here? Yep, that's right, guys. So I came down here, and I used a flight potion, put down some stone here, and then laid out another slab floor, just so we don't have any mobs spawning, and so we have a floor down here. So this is awesome. Why are you like that? Right click. Fix. Nope. Okay, now it's fixed. But yeah, so now we have a subfloor. This way we can run wires and pipes and power and things like that underneath the floor without having to trip over them or have them in plain sight or anything along those lines. So this is going to make things so much simpler. So our ME system, we can just run a cable all the way down over here and get to our mob trap or whatever. Yeah, it's just going to make things a lot easier. So like I said, I used a flight potion and a whole bunch of stone. And I think I had to come up there and fill my inventory full of stone slabs 6 or 7 times. But using the builder's wand made this go super quick. All of that stone probably took me about 5 minutes to lay out. It really didn't take very long at all, but it did use a whole heck of a lot of stone. So now we have a way down there. This way down is probably going to be moved at some point. This assembler needs to be made bigger also at some point. And yeah, lots of little things like that. But now we have a way down there. We have a subfloor. I don't have to worry about breaking out a block and then falling into the void. So yeah, that is really good. Okay, guys. So let's start working on a quest for today. So we've done the Learning Sky block. That's all done. We were doing for the hoarding, I believe. And then we realized, oh yeah, this is going to take a long time. That requires 100,000 pieces of oak wood. Those are things that we should probably set up to be making at some point. But I think we're going to skip on that for now. Let's move on to something else. I don't want to continue to just do one thing until it's done and then do another thing until it's done. Let's bounce around, get some other things going. I think today I want to start working on the bees and trees. Now I was looking over here under bragging rights, I think, and one of these things is, yeah, bee domination. So this is saying that we're going to need 100,000 forest drones to complete this task. So I want to get those going as soon as possible. Bees take forever to produce. And this is not on a server right now. This is single player, so they're only ever going to produce while I'm online playing, unless I ever do swap this over to a local server or something. So we want to get that going as soon as possible. So let's start looking at bees and trees. So the very first thing we need to do, yeah, beekeeping. Bees can be a useful way of getting resources without having to mine or process stone, looking for tiny bits of ores. To get started with bees, you will need to lure a few to you. Start by making a squeezer from forestry. You can power the squeezer with a conduit connected to a dynamo or generator. The conduit will convert the RF into MJ needed by the squeezer. Squeeze seeds or nuts to obtain seed oil. Combine a hay bale and some string to make an artificial hive. Interesting. Artificial hive and a seed oil can. So we need to make both of these guys to hand in. Oh, you know what? I don't have any food on me. So we have all this bread. Oh, you know what? You guys were telling me, and you guys are absolutely right, that I shouldn't be eating the bread. I should cook it again, which I'm doing right now, handing it in for that one quest. Yeah, we got bread right here. I've been cooking this up and handing it in for that other quest, but this heals 2, well, maybe 1.5 hunger things, but it says it's a nourishing light meal, which I think is slightly better than the bread. Well, it says nourishing light meal 2. I think this heals a little bit more. Anyway, It's not that much more difficult to make. You just put the bread through redstone furnace or whatever. So yep, that's what I'm doing for food now. Okay, so we need to make seed oil, and I believe we can squeeze just regular seeds. So let's get some of those. We need to make ourselves a squeezer from forestry, so let's also get one of those going too. It's been a while since I've done a lot of bee stuff, so this will be interesting. Okay, so we need 6 tin ingots, 2 pieces of glass, and a sturdy casing, which is bronze ingots. Do we have those? Oh yeah, look at that, we do. Okay, just enough. 4 left over, that's awesome. So I think we should have everything else. Yeah. Okay, so there's our squeezer. That's not too difficult to do. What does that say? It requires 5 MJ a tick. All right. So I think we can just stick this guy right there. Yeah, that should work. And then we can just go ahead and put those seeds in there. Awesome. So if I remember correctly, it takes a whole heck of a lot of seeds to make a bucket of seed oil. And it might be something like 45 seeds or something to do that. I can't remember. It's been a long time. But you can see right here, it's not showing up any seed oil on this thing, and we've already gone through about 10. So yeah, it's going to use a lot of that stuff. Right, so what was the thing? We need to do a seed oil can. Let's see. Seed oil can. Okay, so fluid transposer, seed oil, blah, blah, blah. So a can, so 10 ingots makes 12, or we can do aluminum. You know, we got plenty of tin. We haven't been using tin for much else. Yeah, we got over 1,000 ingots. Let's go ahead and just do that. Okay, so there's 12. We can stick this. Guess we'll just stick one right in there. We don't really need to make all of these cans into the seed oil stuff, so we can just put the rest over here and wait for that to go. Okay, so we need to make an artificial hive. All right, so artificial hive. And yeah, that's X Nilaho for this thing, right? So it's a hay bale and a silk mesh. Okay, so I think the hay bale is 9 wheat. And then I think the silk mesh is 9 string. So let's grab that while we're here. In fact, I should grab a few stacks of that and stick it into our ME system just so I don't have to keep running back and forth for that for any other reason. Okay, so let's put all that in our ME system. We will make one of those silk mesh, nice. And we will make a little bit of wheat for hay bale, nice. Put those together. And artificial hive, awesome. Okay, so let's see. Is this thing... Oh, it's still squeezing. It's got a little bit left. Oh, man. Squeeze faster. Squeeze faster. Nope. Oh, it's almost there. So it looks like... Yeah, that's 54. We still have not done a bucket's worth. Man, that takes a lot of wheat seeds. My goodness. I can't wait till later on when we get things that we can squeeze other than seeds to make the seed oil. Maybe we can get the bees that'll make... what was that? I think it's the nut dew or something that makes seed oil. Is it really an entire stack of seeds for one bucket? It is more than a stack of seeds for a bucket. My goodness. All right, well, that doesn't seem like it's going to take that much longer. So once we get that done, we're going to get a meadows hive and a forest hive and a half a heart. So that's going to be awesome. And a reward bag. And let's see. So it's going to bring us to a quest. So we have to do these all in order until we get to here. And then we can branch off either way. Or we can branch off 3 ways. Looks like down here we're going to get into the trees. And down here we're going to get into radioactive combs. All right. Hopefully this thing's going to hurry up. Yeah, look at that. It's like almost a stack and a half now of seeds before this thing made a full bucket's worth. Okay, well, tell you guys what, this is going to take a little bit of time. Let's wait for this to finish up and we'll be right back. Whew, that just finally finished. So it looks like it's over a stack and a half of seeds before it makes a bucket. That is crazy. Okay, so I'm just going to let this finish up so we can get a stockpile of that while we do other things. So we needed to get our seed oil can and our artificial hive. Both of those we should have now. There we go. All right, so we can pick one of these, and I'm going to pick this one on the right, and let's claim the reward. Okay, so we got half a heart. You know what? Heart? I think, yeah, we had another half a heart, so let's go ahead and combine those two. Nice. We'll go and eat that. 19 lives remaining. That's awesome. So, reward bag. Let's check that out. Not so good reward. We got a cake. That's a lie. That's too bad. I guess we will stick that. Can I put it somewhere? Right there? Nom. Not really a lie. Okay, so we have these meadows hives and forest hives. Before we do anything with those, let's move on to the next quest. We might have to use those for something. All right, so this says, using a fluid duct, move the seed oil from the squeezer to an ex nihilo barrel. Right-click the barrel of seed oil with an artificial hive to obtain a scented hive. Scented hives will lure bees to them depending on where they are placed. Interesting. Meadows bees will come if there are flowers in a plains biome. Forest bees like forest biomes and a lot of leaves. All of the hive bees have special things they want before they are willing to move in. If it takes too long for a bee to move in, the hive will need to be dipped in seed oil again. Aha! Okay, so it looks like we have to make these scented hives, stick them around different biomes, and wait for bees to arrive in them. I'm not sure how necessary this is. Since we were just given meadows hives and forest hives, that means we have two different hive bee types once we break these open, and I'm not entirely sure that we need more than that to get started with bees. So in order to break those things open, we're going to need to make a scoop. It's been a while since I've made one of these. Let's double check the recipe. Okay, so it's a bunch of sticks and some wool. Can we do that? We can. Nice. So there's a scoop. Aha, so we can just set these hives down, break them open with the scoop, and then we should be able to get our little bee buddies out of there. So there's our forest hives and our meadows hives. And where's the scoop? Over here. Yep. So just mine these hives with the scoop. Hopefully we'll get lucky and get a valiant. Oh, nope. I don't think we got him. And nope, we didn't get any of the valiant bees. That's too bad. Alright, so what do we got here? We got some that are stacked. These say they're unknown genome. Ignoble stock. What does that mean? Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. This is new since the last time I have done this. Looks like these are all ignoble stock. Is that what we want? Or is that bad? I don't know. That might be a bad thing. Okay, well, we got bees and we got honeycombs. That's awesome. So this wants us to make a scented artificial hive. Oh, and we have to turn in a scoop. So 1 and 1. So let's go ahead and make another scoop so we can do that part of it. We need plank. I think we're out of wood. Yep, there's wood. Oh yeah, right. What was I doing? I typed in plank. Yeah, I made one of these leadstone jetpacks. I talked about this before. Simply, yeah, the jetpacks are now in the game. So I made one of these guys. So it's a leather tunic, some lead ingots, a leadstone flux capacitor, which just sulfur is like the hardest part of that. And then this leadstone thruster, which is a couple steam dynamos and some other various parts. Nothing super complex to do. Oh, and it also takes another leadstone flux capacitor. So I made one of these guys, which is really awesome. So we can fly around with that. Also, my armor, I have gotten this stuff. I've repaired it and everything from our mob drops over here. So that's really cool. So the jetpack, let's see. If I hit F, jetpack disabled, enabled. So yeah, I can hold down space and I can fly up. Now I think there's a hover mode. It looks like it might be enabled. Is it hover mode? C. Enable, disabled. So if it's disabled, I fall down pretty quickly. And if it's enabled, I float down. So yeah, that is really, really cool. Kind of move slowly with it, but you know, we can do things like fly all the way up on top of our mob trap if we wanted to now. So yeah, that's really great. We can just kind of slightly hover down. It has a particle effect. I didn't even notice that before. So one thing else I was noticing, the Hardened Jet Pack, which has 400,000 as opposed to this one, which has 25,000. You can use a leadstone jetpack in part of the recipe, or you can make the recipe with just a little tunic. So I've kind of wasted making that jetpack. I should have just gone straight to this recipe. I'm pretty sure all these recipes are going to be tweaked in the future. So this easy recipe might not be a thing very shortly. But anyway, I wanted to check out the jetpack, so I just made the leadstone one. It's pretty cool. I like it. But yeah, as you can see, just for that little bit of flying around, we've already gone through a quarter of the power, so it doesn't last very long at all. Right, so I completely forgot what we were doing. Let's check this out again. So we're going to make a scoop. So the scoop is this and that. Oh, we need sticks. So planks, wood. Wait, what? Didn't we have? Oh, they're all in my inventory. I was like, didn't I just do that? There we go. Put that in there. We'll make some sticks. Put that away. Okay, so let's make another scoop. Awesome. So we can go ahead and send that in. Manually submit that guy. What else? We need to make a scented artificial hive. So, yeah, we need more wheat so we can make the hay bale. Guess I'll just grab a stack of that. Kind of feels like we're going to be making a few of these things. So I might want to pre-make a bunch of these hay bale. And then we also need strings. So there's this thing. Yep. Grab one of those, send that away. This and this and this. So there's an artificial hive. Now it said that we needed to pipe in seed oil into the ex-Nihilo barrel. Do we have to pipe it in, or can we just use a bucket and click it on one of these things? How are we doing? Okay, so we got like 2 buckets worth. Well, we could try it. Let's see. What is that thing called? Barrel? Yeah, we got a bunch of these barrels. So let's try sticking this guy right here. Let's grab one of our buckets. Oop, 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 oop. Bucket. Put that right here. Is that going to work? Right here? Oh, we can't do it. Dang it. I was hoping that I was going to be able to just get a bucket's worth of this stuff. Oh, well. Okay, so maybe we will just pipe it over like it says we should do. So let's grab some fluid ducts. Yep. Some of this stuff. And you know what? I'm going to stick this thing right next to the squeezer just so we don't fill up our fluid ducts with a whole bunch of that seed oil. Just stick this right over here. Yep, and we'll do this and that. Finally, we will do that. And I need a lever or a pneumatic servo. All right, we got one of those. We'll just use this guy. Stick that on there. Right click. Ignored. So that should be pumping. Yep, there we go. So we can take the artificial hive, click it in there. Does that take a bit of time, or can I? Okay, so it's out again. So there's a scented artificial hive. Awesome. So I think that's all we had to do. Manually submit that guy too. Right, so now we're going to get some of these bees and a full heart. Let's claim another reward. So there's a full heart. Now we got 20 lives remaining. So the bees that we just got, pristine stock. Okay, so I'm thinking we want the pristine as opposed to the ignoble. Yeah, that's probably what we want. Let's check this out. This is a greater reward bag. Oh, look at that. Blaze rods, a whole bunch of potion making stuff, brew stand, magma cream. That's not bad at all. Okay, awesome. So we'll just go ahead and stick that stuff in our ME system for now. Awesome. Very good. Put that away. Great. So let's check this out again. Cultivating bees. The first step towards breeding a massive army of bees is to get the cultivated bee species. First, you will need to breed any 2 different types of bees, such as forest and meadows, until you get a common princess and a common drone. And since I've done this before, you take the common bee and you mate it with a hive bee, like the ones we already have, the forest or the meadow, and then you can get the next one. Let's see. Whoop, 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 whoop. Then breed the common drones to a hive bee until you get the cultivated princess and drone. If you are willing to spend a lot of power, Gendustry can bypass the random chance. Ooh, that's interesting. I've never used this before. Build a mutagen producer and supply it with power and redstone. Place a mutatron next to it and supply it with power. Placing a princess and a drone in the mutatron. Mutatron? I'm not sure how to say that. Will give you a 100% chance of getting a pure mutation at the cost of... Where'd I go? At the cost of power and liquid mutagen. The advanced mutatron will allow you to pick which of the possible mutations you get from bees or trees with multiple mutation chances. Interesting. The mutatron will ignore biome and specialty mutation restrictions. So yes, you can get a jaded bee. Huh. Awesome. So the jaded bee is a bee that you generally can only ever get if your name is Jaded Cat. That's like one of those bees that they added specifically for her. So yeah, we can get tropical hives and marshy hives. Good. More hive bees. Reward bag. You know what? We should make one of those. What is it? The indexer. Yeah, this guy right here. This can hold an infinite amount of bees. Is this something easy we can make? Just copper, sturdy casing, redstone, a bunch of chests. You know what? We don't have the bronze, I don't think. How do we make bronze? I can't remember. Let's check this out. I guess we'll do the molten bronze. So that's molten copper and tin. Looks like it's 3-to-1. So copper. Let's make 3 blocks. And then we'll do tin. Just do one of these. Yep. That's right, isn't it? Copper and tin. Yeah, tin and copper. Let's go stick those over in the smeltery, and we will make up some bronze this way. I'll turn that off. We're going to want the casting basin, not the ingot cast. Boom. Right, so as soon as that melts, we will have ourselves a bunch of bronze. So give me a second, guys. Let's wait for this to happen, and we'll be right back. All right, looks like our bronze and tins have melted and merged together into molten bronze. That's awesome. So, yeah, the copper and tin have been mixed. Now we just got to wait for this thing to go. So there's a block of bronze. Excellent. I'm just going to break those apart. Right, so now we can make our sturdy casing. So we've done that before, just like this, sturdy casing. So let's see, we wanted an indexer. Yeah, this is so good because we can store basically an infinite amount of bees in this thing. So Apiary's machine, we're going to need, oh, you know what? We needed some wood. I'm pretty sure we were out of planks last time I looked. So let's go ahead and grab, yeah, a stack of those. So we can make, what was that, 6 chests we had to do. So yep, let's do that real quick. Stick that right there. We'll do a stack of planks. We'll just take those planks and make some chests. All right. There we go. Cost of 1 diamond and 1 redstone. There's an indexer. Awesome. These things are so good. Like I said, you can store an infinite amount of bees in them. So all these bees that we have in my inventory, I can just go and click over here and they all just go right in there. Very good. So now we don't have to worry about our inventory being clogged up. Okay, so the apiary, let's see. I can't remember. The apiary. So it is an impregnated casing, which is a carpenter full of seed oil and some logs. So yeah, that's not too difficult to do. So we need to make ourselves another machine. Carpenter. And that's another one of these. Oh, we don't have enough bronze. I need to go grab those other bronze blocks. Yeah, that's one thing about forestry. You have to make a whole bunch of bronze. It uses a lot of copper for stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get all that stuff in there. Do that. So there's our sturdy casing. And yeah, even more bronze ingots for this recipe. Okay, so there's our carpenter. So the carpenter we can just stick over here as well. Guess I'll stick it right there. That also needs power. So we need to put some logs in there. And yep. And so log. This is just setting the recipe, and then that's the inventory. You have to place the logs in there. We only want to do one of these for now, and then we have to pipe in the seed oil. Oh, you know what? I think I need to grab another fluid duct. Grab you. Very good, very good. Stick that right there. And alright, so now we're filling up a seed oil. Pretty sure I can disconnect that guy. We don't need to pump any more in there. Not for now anyway. So this is going to do its thing. There's our impregnated casing. Oh, and that didn't use a full bucket. I was thinking it would. So maybe we should do a bunch of those while we have the seed oil in there. Right, so the apiary. This guy right here is some slabs, some planks. We are out of planks again, it looks like. So let's go ahead and make some of those. Do another stack. Very good. And boom. So there's our apiary. Awesome. So yep, we have completed the crafting task. So that's going to give us marshy hives, tropical hives, and another heart. So let's claim our reward, eat our heart. I got to check our food real quick too. Need to eat some. Noticing that's getting down there. I've heard if your hunger wears out, like goes all the way down, you die practically instantly. I don't want to try that. Alright, so let's check this reward bag and we'll wrap up the episode. Oh, are you kidding me? 64k fluid storage. Wow. That is awesome. So the fluid storage, well, actually, I was thinking that was higher than that. Fluid storage is pretty good. You can just replace one of your drives with one of those guys, and then now we can store liquid in our ME system. But I don't think we're going to do that just now. In fact, I'm just going to put the drive away. But yeah, that's a pretty good reward. So we need to make another scoop. Can we do that? Scoop, scoop, scoop. Nice. Let's go ahead and put out these other bees. We'll scoop these up. Hopefully we'll get a valiant bee, which is useful for making other species down the line. Yeah, there's always a chance from these hive bees that you'll get one. I'm fairly certain. There's one. That blue one. There we go. Valiant drone. Awesome. So are any of these pristine, ignoble? Ah, there's a pristine one. Ignoble. Pristine. Awesome. Very good. All right, guys. Well, we are well on our way to being some awesome beekeepers. Let's go and throw all these guys in our indexer over here. Nice. All right, guys. Well, we got a lot of stuff done working towards the bees. Very happy about that. Looking forward to getting those guys set up. It's going to take a lot of infrastructure to get everything set up that we need for these. But yeah, it's great that we got a good start on that. All right, guys. That's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it. And we'll see you next time.